Hello and welcome to Frank's School. My apology in a way for the last video where I was trying to film this. That was very hard to see, but at least you saw my efforts. I did want to point out that on one of the deeds it was said that the sale was to a man named Ockenheimer. Oh, Ockenheimer. This was a clerical error. But no one would ever say Ockenheimer here. He heard O, although he got that wrong. And that's one of the reasons that I stick with the pronunciation Oppenheimer. It generally, in the world at large, is pronounced Oppenheimer, the man who built the atomic bomb, etc. But here locally, the name is Oppenheimer. And apparently it was back when they were buying. Now, what now? What now in this course? Well, as far as the archaeology is concerned, April 1st is a special day for me, April Fool's Day, but there's more reason for that. In the year 2014, it will be 40 years since I came here to stay. But anyway, in my mind, I've set that as a time where I may try to gather any archaeologists that I can find that would be interested in looking at this site. Before that, this spring, I'll contact at least one, maybe two archaeologists to see if they have any interest in what I have shown in those videos. All right, well that continues to be a look at the past. But now I'm going to turn to, I will turn to the future about this property gradually, not instantly, not right now, but eventually I'll tell you more about the Old and Other Ways Museum that I would like to build. The buildings that are all in such rough shape and look so poorly, as I've said, they are on their way up. And starting this summer, really, I'll begin to give those buildings a future. They look like something that's dying from the past, but that will change. In the course, now and then I will mention class vocabulary. I'm not going to teach it again this year, but I want to show you a little bit of the results that I got. Now that was something I devoted about a week to 3 weeks ago. The trip, my trip to Portugal and Spain, Galicia. I haven't said very much about it. I did for about a week. I think I talked quite a bit about that trip. It's going on, and I just want to give you an update. I have bought my ticket. My ticket cost me about $960. I waited. If I had bought it 1 week earlier, I might have saved $10. But it seems like I did buy it at about the right time, which was about 80 days or 90 days, 3 months before I left. Another price I now have is the renting of a car. When I get to Lisbon, I'm going to rent a car, and that will probably cost me about $200 for 9 days, plus the gas. I'll have to buy the gas, and that'll be a lot because I'm going to travel far. Others. I tried to get others to go with me on this, and I tried fairly, not real hard, but I spoke to 10 or 12 people about it. But as it turns out, and I still would do this trip by myself, but as it turns out, I'll probably have only one other with me, and that's my producer. The woman who helped me so much last year, her name is Shirley. She will almost certainly be with me. She will drive, she will be my cameraman, and helped me tremendously. So I'm pleased for that. It would have been fine if others had come, but that's the way it turned out. Maybe next year, if everything goes really well, next year I would go back, and then I would try even harder to get others to come with me. Hostels. I wanted to say about hostels. Europeans, I think, know about hostels, but Americans maybe don't. Youth hostels maybe, but there are hostels for adults as well. And they're cheaper than hotels. In Portugal, for example, there are hotels, but they're pensões. In Spanish, they're called pensiones, and there are hostels. If you stay in a hostel, you sleep in a room with strangers. The men together, the women together, sometimes men and women in the same room, and you share a bathroom. It's not the way Americans are used to traveling. But it's by far the cheapest, and whenever possible, I'll be staying in a hostel. Research. Well, when you go on a trip my way, You don't just, you know, even if you go on a tour, which is fine. I spend so much time researching this, since I'm gonna be the tour guide, my own tour guide, or the tour guide for the two of us, and I spend so much time researching the route, what to see, what best to see, what roads to take, and I have gradually begun to get to know Portugal very well. Now, I've been there twice before, three times before, but not so much the country at large. On the trip, I still intend to make some documentaries. That's going to be one of my main purposes. One documentary with 3 parts, and I think it's going to be called Falling Water in Minho and Galicia. 3 parts to that: spirit, work, joy. Another one about the way they farm in Minho, polyculture, or permaculture it's called now. And then maybe a third one, hopefully a third one about José's mill, specifically. Now the one part of this about work, we'll deal with the mills, water-powered mills. And this, you know, we'll see how that goes with José's mill. And if that's on its way up, that will involve more trips back there for me. All right, and then finally, I'm dealing with what now. Tomorrow, I'm going to start to try to teach you loving German. I'm going to try to show you why I love the German language, and in the process teach you some German. I'm so looking forward to this. I'm rather excited because I do love the German language. So tomorrow, 1:22, there I'll be, singing German. Okay, I think that covers it for today. The cat and I will say goodbye. See you tomorrow.